Hey, graduates, can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me on the live. Give me a thumbs up if you can all hear me on the live. Give me a thumbs up. Let me put up my other my phone as well because I never trust this software. I never trust this software, guys. Let me just see if you guys are all hearing me. Thumbs up. Okay, Faith says yes. She can hear me. Hey. All right, I have my second screen just in case. Okay, big up on yourself. I see you now. Right, let me go through the chats and see who is in class nice and early. Boy, what a something. All right, big up yourself, Faith B. I see you. Sadie Dixon. I see you. Nikki Nix. I see you. Gelson Nice. Big up yourself, Marencha. As she says, please touch the like button as soon as you come on. Vanessa, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all the graduates. Novelette, big up yourself. I see you. Jenny, big up yourself. Boy, this is such a devastating thing that's happening. Hey, Lady V, what's up? You're hearing me loud and clear. Ah, listen, I do not think that Jamaican people are taking this thing seriously, you know. Only not taking this thing seriously. Y'all are not taking Hurricane Melissa seriously. I see a lot of commentary all over social media and even over on TikTok. People are gonna lie, people are dance, people are ramping at the arena, like say nothing serious is about to happen. And I'm looking at the condition of their property. And I'm like, you need to be kneeling down that. Hi, Anne. Hey, Denise. I mean, how can you be so relaxed about this? And no, it's a part of our resilience as Jamaican people. I know this. It's a part of our resilience, but it's also a part of our folly. We are going to end up being completely unprepared for what is about to come. In addition to this, Jayden Smith is still missing in a category 5 hurricane that is about to hit the country. A category 5. I don't think people really understand what a category 5 hurricane actually looks like. So I've decided to come out today to show you what a category 5 looks like. Because I think that's a part of the ignorance. A part of the ignorance is the fact that people don't know what it looks like. So people are saying, well, category 5, what that? Me survive Gilbert. And Gilbert did bad, yes, but me survive it. Right? And y'all are thinking that this is going to be anything like Gilbert. Gilbert is nothing in comparison to a category 5. Gilbert was a category 3 and it was devastating enough at the time. If you think about it, you know, when Gilbert hit, I must have been in about first or second form. And when Gilbert hit, Jamaica was without electricity for, I would say, close to 2 months. Of course, they're going to regret it. Jamaica was without electricity for about 2 months. We had to be eating bully beef, sardine, salted foods for ages. You understand? It is a slow category 5, which is even worse, Kerry. Because the slower it is the more it gets to unpack and repack, which means it's coming with even more water. This is the part that people are not picking up on. We already had a heavy period of rain leading up to this. And because we had a heavy period of rain leading up to this, you can imagine, it's like if you can imagine a sponge and you soak up that sponge with water, right? When you look on the sponge look like a sponge. But when you press it so you feel the water just come out, right? Because it is soaked. That is what they mean when they say that the land is already saturated. So when the land is already saturated and then you pour more water on top of that, you are getting months of water in days. The flooding is going to be out of this world. Landslides out of this world. I don't think you people understand what you are about to go through. So what I chose to do, yes, it's saturated, it's very serious. What I chose to do is to um pull up an example of a category 5 hurricane and what it looks like. And I'm going to show you guys on the screen what a category 5 hurricane looks like and the kind of devastation that you can predict for Jamaica. Because you guys are taking it too lightly. Missy people, Lady V, Missy people are put bricks on the roof. I said, Jesus. Missy people are put blocks on the roof. And they don't seem to realize that putting blocks on the roof, you're turning that category 5 hurricane is going to turn those blocks into cannons. Not bullets, you know. Cannons. Because when that get lift up on that start fling. Eh? And that thing is going to sit on the island. It is predicted for 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days it is going to sit in the island. And while all of this is going on, yeah, missiles, thank you. While all of this is going on, you're going to be, for the majority, closed off from the world. No internet, no electricity. Only core services will have electricity going, and those of you who are looking after generators. Exactly, Nicky Nicks. That's what I'm saying. They're not taking it seriously. They don't have a clue. So, let me show you guys what it looks like. Right? I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Because like I said, a lot of you don't have a clue what you're working with. So, this right here that you're seeing, this is the precipitation, the amount of rainfall, right? It's the amount of rainfall that you're going to be getting, right? At the moment, you're getting some rain in Jamaica, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. You're getting some rain, but it's not a lot. Okay? So, right now, a lot of you are getting very light rain. So, because of that, all I said, cha, I just look a bit of rain we are get. The government just make up things. It's just a little bit of rain, right? You're not getting light rain here, okay? Now, this is the travel direction, the trajectory, the prediction of the hurricane and where it is going to go, okay? So, this is the hurricane right here, so Melissa, category 5, and it is heading in this direction. Right there, by Tuesday midnight, the forecast is it will be going at 165 miles per hour. Now, I need you to understand, when you are traveling, you're driving in your car, you can compare it. You're not supposed to know what 100 miles an hour feel like. When you not go 100 miles an hour, you feel like you not go fast, you not lift up off of the road. This is 165 miles per hour. Okay? Right? Now, as it gets here, by Tuesday noon, it's going to get to 160 miles per hour, right? Then it enters the country. This is the landing point. When it lands here, this is St. Elizabeth. Everywhere in Jamaica is going to get affected. Look at the span of the hurricane. Look at it, the entire area here. It's going to go cut across and it's going to exit over by St. Ann, Ocherius, them side there, before it goes on to Cuba. You hear? So everybody, especially St. Elizabeth, you see, Mandeville, Manchester, them place here right, just go get it. St. Ann, go get it. That is why I said to you that Jayden's spirit is not resting. This is why I said to you that Jayden's spirit is not resting. Big up yourself, Foreign Woman TV. Bro Shaka, I see you. Wendy Baker, big up yourself. Unique. Right? Exactly. Unique. Say after Irma, we couldn't get no services generators we have to use. Talk about mosquitoes. Listen, this is going to be very, very uncomfortable. Right? So everybody that they are chilling at things say, oh, this is no big deal. I'm going to show you what a category 5 look like in a real life. But I just need you guys to understand. Now, in terms of precipitation, you are about to get months of rain in 2 days. Months of rain. You understand? So you can expect that you are going to be getting, I would say, about, because you know, expect inches and it's going to be feet. You're going to be feet deep in water. And then the thing is that you guys are not even thinking about the surges along the coastal lines. Right? We're not thinking about the surges. And the fact that all this water is going to push onto the land and can result in catastrophic waves that can be as high as a 2-story building. It can be. You understand? And on taking this thing lightly, me see L.A. Lewis over there on TikTok. L.A. Lewis over there on TikTok. L.A. Lewis I tell people say the government a try fool people and nothing no go so. Listen to me, guys. When you not listen to L.A. Lewis, because L.A. Lewis, you know, in part they belong to Bellevue, you know. Because where him a go on and I tell the people them is so unsafe, it's like him want them to relax. You cannot relax in a situation like this. You understand? You cannot relax in a situation like this. So, if we go to today's date, which is the 27th. Alright, so the 27th, by the 27th midnight, this is where the hurricane is going to be. Sorry, the 27th midnight. Then the 27th at 3 a.m., it starts to get closer. Then we go to 6 a.m. This is the wind movement now, you know, the wind that pick up, you know. By 6 a.m. By 9 o'clock in the morning. See there, it starts to really, when you see this red zone, yes, so this is the area where all of the damage take place. You see this red zone right here, so? Out here, so now you just feel some like a light rain and you know, some wind. Okay? But in here, so now, this is where the major danger take place. So that's by 9 o'clock. Still 160 miles an hour. Then by noon on the 27th, this at noon in 3 p.m. in Jamaica time now. You see them between them 2 hours it pick up to 160, 165 by 3 o'clock. Today. And it's still coming closer. The prediction is that by the 28th at midnight, see there? Even closer. Now it's at this point. On the 28th, we're getting the 165 miles per hour wind. Yes? Just look at it. By lunchtime on the 28th, St. Elizabeth supposed to under heavy rain and wind a pick up on the 28th. By 28th, as in tomorrow, lunchtime, that is when that thing land pa uno. It's no joke thing. So when I'm hearing L.A. Lewis telling people that there no hurricane now come and the government has set them up and the government has tried put the whole own in a building. For kill no half. Not a thing go like that, people. This thing is being internationally tracked for a reason. You realize that it's been, I would say, about 200 years since Jamaica experienced a hurricane like this? You have never, many of you in your lifetime, unless you have experienced it in other countries, have never experienced a hurricane this level in Jamaica in your life. So it is a historical thing. It's predicted that by the 29th it would have cleared the island. So we're talking about it, the fact that it goes sit down power for 2 days, it go sit down power. This is the thing, bro, Shaka, but you know you have a few people who are very soft in the head, who are going to be listening to what this man is saying and taking it as gospel. Just like how them genuinely believe that the man at work over and stop the storm from come. Him cannot stop anything, him don't have that power. You understand? As much as me rate L.A. Lewis for his community work, you see that part, as I said to you, that part of him and me don't agree. Because I'm not into this baba business. Right? So, this is now the satellites and where we're at with that. Let me close this down. Right? This is the satellites. So when I zoom in now, you can see. Look at the spans. Look at the size of the beast. This is all the atmospheric pressures, the wind, the precipitation built up around that one Melissa. All of this right just what you see combining. That's heading towards Jamaica. Right? That's heading towards Jamaica. Everywhere is going to be affected. It's not just going to be one part now go get nothing and everywhere is going to be affected. But certain places are going to get the full brutal force. Exactly, Unique. The slower it goes, the more dangerous it becomes. Right? And Newmarket in St. Elizabeth always flooded. Yes. Right? So it's going to hit the island and enter. It's going to land right here. By tomorrow lunchtime. St. Elizabeth going to feel it. But all of these places, Kingston, maybe, because if you look, right, this is the cone. Can you see this line? This is the cone here. Okay? It's called the cone of uncertainty. This is the cone. Okay? So with this cone now, anything that falls within this region of the cone are going to be getting the brutal force of the wind power, the rain, everything in this space is going to get it. Kingston is kind of on the cusp here. It should be experiencing some rain, it should be experiencing some wind, but it may not fall within the amount of devastation as the rest of the island at this time, by lunchtime. You understand? When it hits. So if you look here, when it hits the island, the cone is going to be here. And all of this is going to get affected. So once it's within the cone of uncertainty, you place under problem. When I'm seeing people talking about the fact that they're not leaving, I'm like, what? Are they crazy? So mega show now. Mega show now what it looks like when you have got a category 5. Okay? I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you have a category 5. Let me just pull up this video. Because I am just shocked how many people are not taking this seriously at all. Let me pull this all the way up to the beginning before I press play. Hold on a minute. Alright, give me a thumbs up if you can see my change of screen. Okay. I'm going to turn up the volume and make sure that you guys can hear the audio from that media source. When you see that, and you seeing how the you seeing how the wall. I want you guys to look, You see this wall here, so let me pull it up a bit. I want you to look and see. You see, this is building that is not only made out of zinc at the roof, it's got bricks. Let me pull it right up because I want you to see. Watch. Category 5. This is what it look like. That's what it look like. Watch the roof. Now look at this. Look at this wall. Watch the wall. Watch the structure. Look at that. All right. This is a category 5 hurricane. Hurricane Michael. Just look carefully. Structures like this, they seem to be the best surviving it. Of course, Melissa is worse than Katrina. Y'all just pay attention and see what we're dealing with here, the kind of winds. Say, someone not living in some building like the yellow one, yeah. If you live in some building like this, you're lucky. That devastation. That devastation. House turnover. You see them house that were in the care from back at trailer. Look on trucks. Not one, Look on trucks on its side. Train. That's a whole train. All the carriages. Watch it. Look at that. Panama, this big old trailer on its side. Look at the building. That's a whole gas station. Bricks down. And that is what people are messing with. That is what people are messing with. That is a category 5. And people think that it's just going to be a simple thing. Category 5, a blow through wall, through concrete wall, it a blow through that. It's blowing through it. It's not a joke thing. So when I hear, there was one scene where somebody was saying, oh, him not leave. He's not leaving. He's been asked to evacuate and him not leaving. You see, those of you in flood-prone areas, in low-lying areas, when I tell you that the water that you are going to see come into your space is not anything you could ever imagine it would have been. Feet of water. Some predictions is like in some areas you can see up to 15 feet of water. You know what 15 feet is? That a 2 6-foot tall man turn up on top of them one another and a little pitney. You understand? So if you get the opportunity to evacuate, and the government says evacuate by 1 o'clock, go. You're going to pack your essentials, all your paperwork. Anything will show say you either rent a property or you own a property or you own a piece of land, you carry it with you. You make sure say that wrap up in a plastic. If you don't have cling film and sandwich bag, wrap it up in a plastic bag. Wrap it up in a times 2 and tape it. You're going to carry your passport. You're going to carry your ID card. You're going to carry your birth paper then for you, your picnic, your husband, your man. Everybody, birth paper must go with you. You understand? You're going to carry any registration documents that you need. Yes, your voter ID, everything like that you carry with you. Those are your essentials. After that, you're going to make sure you carry few piece of underwear, few buttons, several top. Yes, toothbrush, toothpaste, bath soap. Even if you don't carry rag and towel, you can wash up with you can wash your drawers and turn it in a rag. Take a old t-shirt and dry off with it. You don't have to fret about too much things. Take your electronics, plug them out. If you have blocks, put them on top of blocks. Try put them high as much as you can. When you're not going, pick up on the doorway with sandbag. Put sandbag on the roof. Sandbag is the best thing that you can put. Don't put bricks. Because bricks will turn into missiles, as somebody said in the chat. It's going to lift and fling. Take your medication. Thank you. Medication very important because pharmacy now go open. And you're not going to have no way of getting to hospital for emergency services. Any asthma pump, right? Any allergy medicine, any diabetic medicine, any hypertension medicine, want to carry that. Right? Kidney patients, you should be getting your final dialysis today. You should be getting your final dialysis today before you go and get your other one in 4 to 5 days' time, because by then emergency services will be open again. So if you usually have 3 dialysis sessions, it's going to turn into 2 this week. You understand? You carry on a flashlight, on a battery. But you can't travel too much water if you're being evacuated, but water will be provided. But carry them something there, because if you have your own personal light, that's all right. Make sure you charge up on the phones. Carry on the battery packs. You understand? That's it. Blankets. You're going to need blankets. Ladies, carry your sanitary napkins. Don't forget those things. You can't. They're over there in a bag. In case it's unfortunate, it's your time of your month. All these little practical things you have to think about. You understand? Blankets are necessary. Your babies and your kids going to want to carry all them toys. Them not going to be able to. Them pick and choose few, them tablets. Make sure them there's something they fully charged. Them are going to play till it dead, but I saw. Jamaica should have disaster buildings built for future hurricane disasters. A hurricane relief system should be set up every year there is storm or hurricane. I think people should take this seriously and seek higher ground and structural place of safety. Exactly. But you see, even the higher ground, right, Faith? One of the biggest problems with the higher ground is the fact that the higher ground is also at risk. It's prone to earthquake, to landslides. So it depends on which kind of higher ground and where they go. Right? So these are the things that we need to be thinking about. How do we prepare ourselves in a way that, we're not taking life for granted, because we're not going to feel very foolish if we end up in a situation where we're stuck. And me hear people that talk about God, and God is the answer, and I'm just like, are you mad? Yeah, God has given you science. God has given you geography. God has given you technology to keep you aware of when He has made a decision. God has allowed you to know what decision He's made. So you go and sit on the backside and do nothing. You got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. No, no, not that one. Close this one. This one.
over hilly storm force winds of light to moderate rainfall is expected to produce rainfall amounting to 15 to 30 inches over parts of Jamaica over the next few days, especially over central and eastern parishes, with higher amounts over hilly terrain. Catastrophic flash floods and landslides are likely, and we have seen some landslides and downed trees already. Tropical storm conditions are expected to spread over Jamaica today, and hurricane conditions are expected to begin tonight or early on Tuesday. The Met Office says life-threatening storm surge accompanied by large and destructive waves are likely among the south coast of Jamaica tonight and on Tuesday, peaking at 9 to 13 feet above ground level.
You not hear that? 9 to 13
Small
feet above
craft
ground level.
operators, including fishers on the quays and banks, are strongly advised to remain in safe harbor until all warning messages have been lifted. That's the situation, folks, as we have it, the latest from the Met Office. Now we're going to go to one of those areas in the southwest, in St. Elizabeth, which, as you know, was really hard hit last year by Hurricane Beryl. And unfortunately, it is in the path of Hurricane Melissa. Or Kalisha Williams is there in St. Elizabeth. Kalisha, good morning.
Thank you. So we're inside a shop here in Flagaman in southern St. Elizabeth. We went to 3 shelters this morning. One I'm looking across now from the Flagaman Community Center, but it's not in a condition to be open. They're missing window panes, and I'm inside the shop where some residents will be seeking shelter. This is where they'll be riding out the storm, and I'm here with a resident. Can you tell me?
My name is Philip Gordon.
Mr. Gordon, and why are you here this morning?
Well, I'm here. My house is a zinc roof, and I think it's the safest place to be because this is deck, and we have such nice people, Tony and Mitchie. They decide to shelter the people. The community center is over there, but it's not open neither, and it's not convenient for the people because it's zinc also. So
Okay.
this is where it is.
And is there any shelter nearby that you know of that you could have gone to, or this is the only place that you can?
This is the only place we could go for now, because there is deck building down there, and we have a few deck building around here, and the people, as I said before, they are so nice, they open that they could accommodate a couple of the people from the community to be here, and it's very safe for them.
The reason why I choose to be here, I always come at this place to enjoy ourselves, and the people them is very nice. So, we told her that we're coming over to shelter here, and she said, "Oh, yeah, you can welcome."
So how is your house, the condition of your house?
Well, my house is Durkaban, but I don't really trust it in Beryl. So, I say either I come here because it's a deck place, so I'm more safer here and something. So we always, a couple of us to get together and play domino last night and enjoy ourselves and
You're
make
there.
a joke and everything there. So enjoy ourselves and we wake up okay and give God thanks and praise for everything. So
Yeah, I know you're here
Yes.
enjoying yourself, but are you concerned at all?
No,
we're
sir.
concerned about everyone. But
The man
as
say
I said,
play domino and enjoy
we
himself.
should have more shelter for the people. Although they say Pigeon planes, we should go down there, but are closed, so we cannot do nothing. So we come right here. We're more safer. So she make coffee give us this morning and we got her, so we feel very happy.
So right now we're on our way to a community called Old Wharf. We're driving behind a resident. He told us that there's a man there. His mother is very ill, but he's unable to take her out of the community because his vehicle is down. So the resident is going to see if he can assist, and we're following to see what's happened. So come with us. I'm going to switch my camera right now. So yes, you're seeing we're driving behind.
Your audio is terrible.
Vehicle in front of us.
Now look on all them something there. You have people who can't walk, we're in a wheelchair, and so you understand. How is the government ensuring that these people are transported properly? Look, they have to be going to help.
Yeah, he got assistance with the vehicle. The vehicle apparently was not starting. Yeah, so he get assistance and the vehicle is up and running. So we're gonna move, you know.
Okay. Yeah. So there's no need for you to assist him right now?
No.
Well, Shaka, if I was in Jamaica, I'd be volunteering. I'd be up and down
flood prone. What are the
in the volunteering capacity, helping people to move them.
The main, we get a lot of flooding, and since then dig the drain to the sea, it's a bit, not that flooding amount of flooding you have. So, but this hurricane is a different thing. Okay. So all areas may cut off entrance leading to Treasure Beach. So it's a high risk right now.
So we're trying to get a comment from the resident. Here is putting his mother in the vehicle. Apparently, as you heard earlier, the vehicle is now up, but he declined to speak to us. So we're off to another community.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelisha Williams in Flagaman in southern St. Elizabeth there for us. And of course, St. Elizabeth is right by Flagaman down into Treasure Beach on the coast there, and they got hit last year. We're going to just have a look at what's happening out there on the harbour. This is Kingston Harbour. This is the Sea Jamaica camera that we're looking at. As you can see, the sea is pretty choppy right now. We're looking at the Foreign Ministry building to the right of your screen, and in between the Air Jamaica building and the Scotia Centre building to the left.
And I can't see the water. The water is rising.
Water is pretty choppy and
choppy,
rough,
and it's
really
rising.
And of course, those conditions are expected to deteriorate and to get much worse later today into tonight and tomorrow. And hence that warning to small craft operators, including fishers, that they should
will do that. Social Spectator.
Port and securing their vessels. We saw a lot of fishermen yesterday across the island in Old Harbour Bay, in St. Mary and elsewhere, who were, securing their boats and fish spots. We're going to take you now to the gorge, the famous flat bridge, which is often quite a trouble spot. The bridge, as you can see, the water is pretty murky. Hasn't risen significantly yet, but we expect that to change pretty quickly today. Water generally comes over the bridge, and then you'll have the branches and bamboo that will come and sometimes get stuck by the bridge. The gorge, I don't know at what point the authorities will close the gates at either end at Damed and Kent Village, where, not Kent Village, in Bogwalk, just by the road to take you left to Sligoville or the right to take you into the gorge. That's where the gate in Bogwalk is, and the other one is at Damed. And at some point, the authorities will close those gates to prevent traffic from going into the gorge. Apart from persons who live in Kent Village, they are generally given access to go to their homes. But Flatbridge, pretty normal right now at 10 minutes to 10. But we expect those conditions to change in the hours coming up. But as you heard in the gentleman in Kalisha's report speaking in Flagaman, that he says I have a zinc roof. And so he went to shelter at the shop which had a deck, which means a concrete roof. Now, a lot of homes in the St. Elizabeth area and Manchester and Clarendon that were damaged, persons opted not to replace the roofs with zinc or one of those kinds of roof, but rather to put a concrete roof, which obviously is the best for hurricanes. I mean, there some zinc and other kinds of roofs are also, if they're properly constructed and have the hurricane straps, will work. But this is a Category 5 storm, and so it's perhaps the safest to have a roof with made of concrete to withstand, and of course you'd have to secure your windows with shutters or perhaps put some plyboard up as well. But I do know a few persons in those communities who lost roofs opted to replace it with a concrete roof to
Alternative route other than
to
Flatbridge
ensure
if you're going to
to ensure
Backwalk. Me no know about that.
Okay, we're gonna go now to, I think this is Maypen, that we're gonna take you to.
I
If
don't
we can
think
just get
so.
that up. Maypen is in Clarendon, the
Sorry
capital
about that,
of
guys. I don't
Clarendon,
know
and
why the
of
screen
course,
went white.
the hurricane we heard at some point is gonna come through directly up through the center of the island. So places like Maypen, Mandeville will be in the direct path.
You hear that? Maypen and
This is in
Mandeville.
Maypen.
Direct path. Mandeville
You know,
where
some
Jayden
activity
wicked family
going
live.
on there. It's not raining right now, but it appears pretty calm at this point. People going. There are some shops, by the way, that are still open today. I don't know for how long, and I do know some supermarkets in the capital, Kingston,
Supermarkets will be
are open
amongst
as
the last
well
to close, and
to
possibly the
allow persons
pharmacies.
to make last minute
Possibly the
purchases
pharmacies too.
ahead of the
But you cannot
storm
bank on that, and you don't wait till
arrival.
last minute for anything.
This morning, of course, on the streets across the country, certainly in the capital, very, very, very limited traffic. It was very,
I've heard
very
some people saying that
light,
they're not going to
and very few
overstock on
persons
food
were on the
because the
road.
supermarkets will be
I
one of the
did
first
see
places to reopen. Oh
I did see
boy.
a few vendors out, which has a little
See
surprised
that? Social Spectator said people have lost
out
roofs in
in
Mandeville already.
Tree. At least one vendor I saw in Tree and elsewhere. And oops, right. Oh, this is Santa Cruz, I'm told. No, this is Maypen. This is
Okay.
Maypen. Oh, we are in Santa Cruz now, sorry. Yeah, this is Santa Cruz, and some shops are open, as you can see, because persons are getting last minute supplies. This is on the main street there in Santa Cruz. And shops are open and apparently quite full. Persons getting their
What you
last
people
minute
live? They say them
supplies.
look relaxed. I cause him, I cause say Cameron I'm facing up. And
Could we
then
hear what this man saying?
then him I realize
Okay.
say and news. First him I cuss it up.
Right. So this is a supermarket
Then
here in
can make you hear
Santa
what I say. I
Cruz, and
cuss him
as
I
you see,
cuss.
it's pretty busy. Now, one of the
Okay,
things that
Faith has given
quite
an
interesting,
option
as
for going to
certainly heard
Bugwalk,
a lot of people talking
Highway
about it, and I've seen
2000
some
North
comments about this
South
on
Toll
social
Road.
media. A lot of persons bought stuff from as far back as Wednesday and Thursday, and by Saturday they said their stuff had run out. And because, based on what we're hearing, many persons thought Friday, Saturday was when the storm would have arrived. So there's a woman also, really irate, cussing that all the kids had eaten all the snacks
All
that
the
she had bought,
snacks.
and she had a box full and it was empty. So that's another dilemma
But
that
what you're
many
cussing for,
persons
mom,
are
you need to
faced
store
with
those things
as
away
well,
from the kids.
that
Put
they've
them up
run out
high
of
and hide them.
food and snacks because they stocked up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday,
Hey,
Saturday.
Marceline.
Home all day. Children weren't at school on Thursday and Friday, and the snacks ran out. So
That means
that's
you don't buy
okay.
enough.
We did speak to some people in Santa Cruz, and we're gonna hear from them shortly.
Last minute, I get some water and everything there for you know, say, hey, it's coming up. You better prepare.
Last minute, my boss, now I get up the secure stuff then.
So are you wait until the last minute?
No, we get stuff already.
Yes, I
But
think
we
I went
work
on the toll road,
the
bro, Shaka. Me not
instantly,
go the
the
old
slow
routes again.
motion of the
Since
start.
me go back to
We
Jamaica
have
go
to
visit,
get
me never go
everything
on
stock up and where you
the
have to
old
move
routes.
over now.
Me go the
Because
toll
we wait
road
till the
when I
last
go in
minute,
North
guys, and so
Coast.
we have to just wait and watch, pray to God for the best.
So you think you can get sufficient things that you want?
Yes, yes, I can.
What you say?
The whole supermarket you're working
So you're glad for that?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Big
me never
time
did
to
that
the black
course.
man. I'm not China, black man. Big time.
Say no China run the supermarket, they
Okay,
a
so
black
those
man.
were some comments from persons in Santa Cruz talking about getting their last minute supplies. Now, this is Little London, Westmoreland, and as you can see, it's dry. There's no rain.
Before the storm.
I'm not sure when last they had any rain, but the ground is dry, remarkably, and it almost seems normal. There, the petrol station to your left is open. People are getting
People not
petrol,
taking on the
and
last views of these
people seem to be
places,
going about
because
their
the next time
business.
you see these
Quite a
places
contrast to what we
on
see
camera,
elsewhere,
they will look nothing like
and
this.
quite a lot of persons
The next time you
are out.
see places like this,
Maybe
it
not
will be
Monday morning
devastation.
traffic, but it seems like business as usual. And of course, if you look at the trees in the background, they're not even moving, so there's not much wind either.
So don't you know that
And
that's
this is
what
in
happens
Little
before a
London,
hurricane,
in
sir?
Westmoreland.
Usually before a
Trying to
hurricane,
get
there's
my
a
bearings right to
stillness,
remember where
a
exactly in Westmoreland,
silence.
Little London is.
It feels like
But
perfect
I'm gonna
peace. Not
find
even
out in
bird
a
you're going to hear
second
a
or
chirp.
two. So Little
Oh, I thought
London
Misty Brown,
is
I thought they had
in.
reopened the toll roads.
It's not too far from Savlamar, to the west of Savlamar. And it's not far from the coast. I mean, it's not like somewhere like Grange Hill, which is further inland. Little London is near the coast. Interesting. But it's remarkably dry. So they've clearly not had any rain there for some time. Maybe not since Saturday or stuff.
I'm not here about the eye, but generally
It's
before
just
the storm
interesting
even
what
lands,
we're seeing here
there
from
is
Little
this
London
amazing
in
stillness
Westmoreland, which is
and
near the coast.
silence.
In
That's right, social spectator. The calm before
Central,
the
going
storm
west
came
and
exactly from
Westmoreland.
that.
That's a very, very interesting site. But of course, don't think we should take that as any signs of anything, that we will be getting significant showers, rain, lots of rain, which will lead to flooding. And the Met Office did say that not too far from Little
Them sound cheap out.
evacuate persons from that town. But there weren't very many takers, as we hear in
You
this
hear
report.
this? Wanna listen this?
Centuries, this small seaside town has been shaped and shaken by the sea. From hurricanes to high tides, Port Royal's people have a history of holding their ground, and with Hurricane Melissa, it's no different.
The tide is rising, the wind speed is picking up, and the clouds are rolling in. However, several residents in Port Royal remain unfazed.
Carlos Butler, who has lived in Port Royal for over 18 years, says his property will not be left at the mercy of vandals.
No, because I don't know nobody who broke my house, take out my stuff, them come just come up from Miami right here. And when we leave here, people always come from outside and take what things them and hold on for our place.
During the storm.
Storm, yeah. So I
Lord
prefer stay here
Jesus.
and monitor the place.
There's no way we think we're gonna lose. If the water get rough, we go in the boat. As it keep getting higher, we getting higher too with the boat.
Here they.
Nothing should take us out there. We don't intend to leave, rather die inside here. And we can
Jesus
swim just as
Christ.
well. So guess what? Stay.
No, let me pause
Come
this.
swimming.
Let me pause this. Is what we just hear a while ago, people. Did this man just say that the fishermen are gonna stay in the boats underwater in a category 5 hurricane? And as the water gets higher, the boat is going to get higher. Is he thinking that the water is going to get higher and get higher calmer or what? You don't realize it as some tsunami like wave. No. You see what I'm talking about with our people? We stubborn. And then we put material things as value over our life. Me understand how them feel, because as them evacuate, just know say you have some little dirty foot, boy and girl. We go broke people house and thief them things. People would that watch the barrel we come from last month and one piece out of the barrel. I go broke in and take out things out of the barrel. You're going to have all sorts of people are coming out of your house to take out this and take out that. By the time you come back from the hurricane, you look across the road, you see somebody in your clocks. You look over there, so you see somebody in your polo. Everybody I walk up and down look mint and other things in front of the barrel. That might happen, but you'll still be alive to see it. Huh? You can't put material things over on your life. Pack them up, no pack up all of the expensive things and where you think you can. Go put it in a something and hide it. You can't carry the TV power on your head. You cannot carry it. You understand? And it's know that the place is not going to be secured when they're evacuating. There'll be no soldier presence to make sure that the place is completely evacuated and that other people are not left behind. You understand? So the evacuation, I can imagine, is going to be a haphazard process. But say they caught a 13-year-old who shoplifted yesterday too. But the world over your life, your material things over your life, and you're saying it, and them saying it lightly, And when them at death's door, them wish them did evacuate. And by then it would have been too late. This kind of mindset that we have. No wisdom at all. Uno can't hustle back and make back certain things, and some people feel like so them can never do it. But I partly blame the government. Because the government is claiming that they have learned from Gilbert and other hurricanes and storms that has passed through Jamaica, right? And they have learned from them and they are more prepared for the disasters. I'm not going to knock them for that. Yes, they may be more prepared, but they have not thought things through in a long-term way. Because when you ask people to evacuate, they need to know that their place is secured. They need to know that you have got the Jamaica Defense Force on the ground, securing the environment and making sure the whole place is empty. They need to have some kind of guarantee. And you see, this is a thing. Poor people not have property insurance and contents insurance. Poor people not have them something there, them kind of blanket thing. Because I was listening to this guy on TikTok, this white guy. I think he's American. I can't remember his name. He's a really good weather guy. Everybody's listening to him at the moment. Melissa Mixie Diva put up a clip from that weather guy. And it was so funny when he was giving a list of the things that he says that Jamaican people should do. He said, take a picture of everything for the insurance. And I was like, dude, are you giving instructions to middle class and upper class people? Because taxis don't have no friggin' insurance. You understand? Man, I talk say, yo, take picture of everything, because when I time for you to go and make a claim on the insurance matters, when we're supposed to get back on the money. No, bossy. Poor people don't have no insurance. So when them take picture, them just take picture if you know who them need for chop up and then come back. You understand? It's not gonna go so easily. Yes? It's not gonna go so easily. So, I can understand people are panicking because they're thinking that in their lifetime, they probably would not be able to hustle to bring these things back. Brian Shields, that's it. They probably are not going to be able to hustle to bring these things back, right? And as such, they're not wanting to let it go. But people may have beg uno life more important, it more valuable. These fishermen that are talking. It needs to be illegal if you stay, arrestable if you stay in an evacuated area. But because you see, I know that in some first world countries, when things like this are happening, if a place has been evacuated and you stay behind, there's a penalty and you can be removed by force. Right? So it should be a case of listen, everybody have to move. It's almost as though the government is hoping that if you decide that you are going to stay and you're dead and your business that and less people feel for about. God bless you, Sat. You don't understand that part. This speak it into existence mentality will be the detriment of some, not because you say something and put it out there means it's true. Sad. Exactly. No man. Anyway, me could go and listen. Have mercy, God. The man say I go stay.
Night, because you have all kind of crap in the water during them time. Floating stuff will hit you and stuff like that. But we know what to do.
Emergency officials warn stubbornness can turn deadly. The residents tell TVJ News that reports of sexual assault acts as motivations to stay at home despite evacuation orders. Port Royal
Yes, that's
sits
the truth,
just above
Titanium.
sea level,
Even when they
and
insure, they're
even
not get the
moderate
money.
surges could cut off access to the main road and critical
Very
facilities.
true, Lady B.
Further east in Bull Bay, residents are concerned about the Chalky River, especially in light of all the rain that Melissa intends to dump.
Residents remember all too well when floodwaters carved through homes and cut off entire communities. Some work has been carried out on the Chalky River, but the concern is how long it will hold if Melissa remains pedestrian.
From my experience from Gilbert, I'm not taking anything lightly because I know that it can be devastating, because I see a lot of people get flooded out, roof torn off. So I kind of not really scared, but I'm taking it seriously.
Because residents were complaining that they're not satisfied with the level of work in terms of that they did some clearing, but it's not wide enough, they think, to let the water pass if we should get a large deposit of water.
And here in Harbour View, the gateway to Kingston, this area often takes the brunt of incoming systems. Despite being slowly quarantined by the weather system, some residents say they are prepared to brave the weather in the comfort of their homes.
Melissa may be moving slowly, but her presence is being felt, lingering just enough to keep residents on edge and emergency teams on alert. For TVJ News, I'm Nakinsky Robinson.
Okay, we're moving now to St. Elizabeth, back to St. Elizabeth, where there's a
Where the
down
majority
tree.
of the problem going to be.
Officials, they're trying to chop it up to remove it because it's blocking the road, and I think it may have taken a power line down as well. But that happened not too long ago. This is in this Santa Cruz area. So we are going to see more of this. And of course, given that we're not really in the hurricane just yet, persons, officials, firemen can go out and, try and remove trees now. But after certain hours later this evening
Sorry
or this
about that,
afternoon,
guys.
that won't be possible. It just simply won't be safe to do. But we can, do things to remove trees that have fallen now. But it's remarkable that
Just as a pass by garage and come around in the lane.
Content.
All of these trees here are definitely a hazard because we're gonna have a lot of work to do, right? Because when the breeze come,
We'll block the road.
It's gonna fall down and it's going to block the road.
Block off electricity, internet, everything.
Yes, everything is going. Electricity, internet, everything basically is gonna go down and for a good while too. So all these trees should have.
Listen, Brenda, TVJ News is behind the live JIS update is correct. All right, I'm going to go on it now. I'm going to go on it now.
Okay, a fireman there saying, a lot of trees in that area will fall, and he's a bit puzzled why they weren't trimmed or cut down before, because he says a lot of trees are going to fall in that area.
And this is what I'm talking about. There's this fact that, that we're rushing to clean gullies. We're rushing to cut trees. These are things that should happen cyclically. We should be doing this on a regular basis. Our gullies should not be backed up with garbage and all sorts. And we have some unruly civilians that keep doing this crap, throwing debris into the gully, right? Instead of following through with what is appropriate for refuse disposal in your area, throwing things in the gully and blocking up the gully, not knowing that the gullies are the veins that carry liquid water from the main out to the sea. You understand? So when the land gets waterlogged because it can't flow freely, because the gully then block up, where you think the water is gonna go? It's going to turn up in a house. You understand? But the thing that even so, the government should be monitoring and staying on top of clearing out these places, and they are still working on clearing out the gully them in preparation. Them a panic and dig out all kind of things out of the gully them to stop the place from flood. And Kingston is low lying. The capital is low lying. Brenda is saying that the live JS update is current. I'm gonna press play on this and I'm gonna go and find it. All right, hold on.
You heard with that, power lines will be impacted, and cable and internet will also be impacted, because all of that happens on those utility poles. And of course, there will be some internet poles which will be internet service will be impacted, because the utility poles carry traffic for all those utilities and services. Now, as you heard in Akinski's report, not many persons are, heeding the call to move from Port Royal, and we also had issues in Old Harbour Bay, although there were some people who heeded the warning there. But there are many, many, many other vulnerable communities, and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness last night made a appeal in a message to the nation to heed the warnings. We must take this hurricane seriously, and we're going to hear from the Prime Minister now.
My fellow Jamaicans, Hurricane Melissa is now a Category 4 hurricane. Approximately 100 miles south of Kingston, heading westward at 5 miles per hour, it is projected to turn northward. We are already experiencing rain and overcast conditions. Based on current assessments, all of Jamaica will likely be affected by hurricane conditions, meaning heavy rains and winds above 100 miles per hour. It is also likely that hurricane conditions could linger over Jamaica due to the slow-moving nature of this system. Given the extended days of rains leading up to landfall and the expected inundation from the actual passage, we can expect general flash floodings across the island. However, low-lying areas, coastal areas, river courses, gullies, and other waterways will overflow either from excess rain or storm surges. Extended rainfall and heavy rainflows will also trigger landslides in hilly areas. Buildings and activities in or along those waterways or hillsides will be at high risk of damage.
Okay, I found it. All right, guys, I found it. Let me move across to the JIS stream. Let me move across to the JIS stream. Hold on. I'm gonna move across to the JIS one. Hold on 1 second. All right, so this is JIS now. I'm gonna pull it up a bit because I saw some stuff here that I want to see. All right, I want to go to the description of the thing. Tonya make me laugh to see Tonya expression and when she do the sometimes if I watch Tonya, I'm not take things serious. The volume's a bit crap in it. It's not my computer. Can you guys hear it? It sounds really low.
those points along the coast of St. Elizabeth. So it is really in that general direction,
You
which
hear it?
would signify that it is closer to the western end of the island than to the eastern. You know, there's a common feeling that if it reaches there, that means the eastern part is free of all folly and will
You
not
not hear it?
experience anything that is related to this hurricane. But I would like to tell you that that is not really the case. And although the center has moved past your longitude, which is how far west it is, you will still see that the situation will deteriorate
Hold on.
further right across the country, and all parishes are likely to be impacted. This is a Category 5 hurricane. There are no additional categories for hurricanes. We go from 1
1
to
second.
5. Any stronger than that is still a Category 5. And so it is at the strongest category that it could possibly be. The system, yes, it could gain additional strength, but it will still remain a Category 5 hurricane. Now, it is just about at the point where the projected path of it will indicate that it will move closer to the island. Over the past many hours, it has been moving directly west, which means that the latitude has remained the same. It has not moved any further north or dropped to the south. It has stayed at the same latitude, continuing westward over the waters south of Jamaica. So we will show you the chart of how it's moving in a little while. But let me show you what our radar image is projecting as well. The radar, the Doppler radar in Jamaica is showing that there are numerous showers associated with the system. The center, as I said, some distance to the south, but around that center, immediately around it, is a very tightly knit area of showers, thunderstorms, intense activity, also very, very, very strong winds. That is where the maximum winds of the hurricane are actually concentrated, in the eye wall, which is right around that eye. And it's a very distinct eye. It's a number of a couple of miles probably wide. And so it will actually show when it moves, if it moves over the island itself, a number of areas will experience the calm of the eye. But of course, that cannot be possible until you have gone through the eye wall. And again, after the eye passes by, you have another aspect of the eye wall to go through as well. But this system shows, this picture shows that the system is generating lots of showers right around it. There are bands of rainfall that extend some distance from that eye. And here we see many of those bands also extending across sections of Jamaica. Many of our parishes have already started to experience some of the activity from this hurricane. A number of parishes have experienced rainfall, mainly light to moderate, but in occasions it has been heavy rainfall. Also experiencing tropical storm force winds, mostly gusts, but in some areas those sustained tropical storm force winds will extend, will continue over some areas and will increase over the number of areas of the country as the system moves a little bit closer. Now, it is at the point where we are expecting that it will start to turn toward the north. This means that it will get closer and closer to
Let me make
Jamaica.
that,
That is the projected path. I have to keep saying
let me
that
zoom in on
because
that.
it's often said that I said one thing and this is something else. But the
Look at
truth is, this is a dynamic situation. It changes as the moments go by. And so the track changes are also possible. Earlier I was telling you that it would make landfall in Clarendon. Later I was saying it would have been in St. Elizabeth. It's not
Yes,
that
it keeps
anything is
changing
wrong with
direction.
what
That's
was being
why.
said, but there are updates to the forecast based on information that is gathered and as the system moves closer. As you are closer to impact, the forecast gets more accurate. So when I tell you that we are being hit by a hurricane, you know that it is accurate. We are being hit by a hurricane. At this time, I can only say that it is likely that we will be hit by this hurricane. It is moving closer to us. There is just a small window of opportunity where it could continue
Change direction.
to shift. The
Yeah.
track could continue to be shifted toward the west, and then it could be moving over the waters to the west of Jamaica. Of course, all of us are hoping for that and praying for that. But at the same time, we have to be practical. Right now, the projected path takes it to the southwestern part of Jamaica, impacting either eastern Westmoreland or extreme western St. Elizabeth as it makes its entry, its landfall on Jamaica. Then it's expected to continue moving to the northeast. All at this time, it is expected to be a major hurricane. Right now, a Category 5, it's quite likely that it will drop in terms of the the strength of the system slightly to a category 4 before it makes the landfall. But still, let us prepare ourselves for a
Category
5
5.
hurricane, if you can actually prepare for a
And even so,
hurricane.
category 4 is still
And then if
stronger
we
than
look
Gilbert.
over
Gilbert
that
was a category
southwestern part
3.
of the island, moving toward the northeast, we expect that the exit will be just about in the vicinity of St. Anne, along the coast of St. Anne, which means
Yeah,
it is not
Ochi.
directly north, but somewhat east of north. So making its entry near the border of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth at this time, that's the projection, and then moving across sections of Trelawney and St. James, in the interior of the island through the cockpit country probably, and then moving across along to the coast of St. Anne. So that's the projected path. During this time, it's likely that it will weaken a little bit more. It may exit the island possibly as a category 3. It might still be a weak category 4 at that time, and then it will continue on its way closer
To Cuba.
the eastern part of Cuba. So that is the forecast. It is expected that that entry, that landfall, will take place early on Tuesday. That means
2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
It could actually be during the early hours before the sun. Is there a sun? We haven't seen it for a few days. but when at sunrise, we still have that time that we call sunrise, whether it rises or not. And so at that time, we should be seeing.
So it's going to hit west first. Yes.
Landfall of the center of this hurricane. A landfall means
St. Elizabeth.
Yes, that the center is moving across the coastline, but it also means that the areas around that coastline are going to be most impacted. Around that eye will be most impacted. So parts of eastern Westmoreland, parts of western St. Elizabeth, and then surrounding areas of those moving as it continues.
Hold on, guys. Me go zoom it and now it now zoom back. Lord, when me go mess with it for Lord. Hang on. It's being stupid. Oh no, it's frozen. It's frozen.
Will be most impacted. So parts of eastern Westmoreland, parts of western.
No, me, your son, I'm not seeing a picture.
And then surrounding areas of those moving as it continues to move, the closest areas
here we
to
go.
the center will get the greatest impact. We'll get the strongest winds reaching hurricane force. So hurricane force winds are expected over parts of Westmoreland as well as St. Elizabeth. The extent of hurricane force winds is just about 80 kilometers, I believe, because it's about 40 on either side of the center. So that's the extent of hurricane force winds. Depending on where that center is, we will you can measure whether your area is likely to experience it. But of course, exactly where that land is.
The sign language.
Then the tropical storm force winds extend.
She's good though. She's really good.
Distance and should cover the entire island or most of the island. To the east will be impacted by tropical storm force winds, even though the center is not moving across your area. So if you think that you live in Kingston and you will not experience the eye, and so you are free from fear or worry or concern. I don't want to encourage fear or worry, but I do expect you to be concerned about what is taking place. If you think that you are free from that, think again, because the heavy rains will also affect you. The strong winds reaching tropical storm force could still continue to affect you as we go through the day on Tuesday. That's all the way through tomorrow. The exit of this system is likely to take place in the evening hours on Tuesday as well, so it's not expected to remain over the island until Wednesday, because there will be a slight increase in the wind speed, in the direction of in the speed of movement of the system. Right now it's still moving at only about 6 or 7 kilometers per hour, but it should pick up a little bit as it is moving across us, and so we expect.
And that would be thanks to the cockpit country, I would imagine.
About 6 to 8 hours as it moves from the south coast to the north coast.
Yeah.
The rainfall is what is being shown. The projected rainfall is what is being shown on this chart that you're seeing here. This is showing that you could
we just looked at this, didn't we, guys?
Inches of rainfall over much of the country. And that includes all central parishes, it includes eastern parishes, and to some extent, some sections of western parishes could see that. If you're in hilly terrain, you should also look out for even more rainfall, because in hilly terrain, the rainfall amounts are expected to be higher. Of course, we expect that you will have a lot of flooding from this. And you can see on the picture that all of the island will experience even up to 20
20
inches
to
of
30 inches
rainfall
of rain, the
over
purple.
sections of your area. So
16 to 20 in this area.
Anywhere across the country, you can expect that flooding is
8 to
going to
12.
occur as
The
long as the
lowest
system
being
moves
6
in the
to 8
direction
inches of
that is
rain.
projected. Landslides are also a very real possibility and likelihood, because as the soil is saturated and as the soil is loose, we are expecting that we will have landslides as well. Moving on, this picture shows a little bit about the storm surge that is expected. And there
This
are some
part is
areas that
really
have been
important,
highlighted where
the
we
storm
see
surge.
in the
Pay
Black
attention
River
to it.
area, that is where the highest likelihood of storm surge is at this point, based on the current projection of the track. The center should be just west of there, and therefore
Yeah, move
they will
everything
have the
except for my
greatest
wife. Come on.
likelihood of experiencing higher
Yeah,
storm
me here.
surges, getting up to like 16 feet. That's a possibility, or 14 feet, I should say, in that area. As you move along the
14
coast, of
feet
course, there are some
of
areas that
storm
might not be
surge.
impacted significantly by storm surge, especially if you don't have a gradual slope onto the land, but you might have a cliff face. But if you're moving into the Portland Cottage area, Salt River area, because you're in that little inlet, you also have a strong likelihood of experiencing some storm surge. It would not be as high as experienced over in the west, but you should also look out for some surge occurring in
So
those
these areas
of
here.
Clarendon and going into the Old Harbor Bay area. That's a possibility.
Clarendon.
Also in the vicinity of, as we move closer to Kingston,
St. Catherine.
as St. Catherine as you move from across the border from St. Catherine into Kingston, St. Andrew, along the coast, could also experience some amount of storm surge.
Storm surge here.
And that
Palisadoes
is basically
dead.
it in terms of the technical aspects of this presentation. I just want to encourage all of us to have faith in this time, believe that we will get through it, and we will get through it together. Nobody is on their own. If you feel that you're on your own, reach out to somebody. And if you see somebody who is alone and who seems very depressed at this time, seems very anxious, please reach out and offer some words of assurance, because this is not the end.
Tonia's face.
It's the end of my presentation.
I can't with Tonia's face. I can't with Tonia's face. Guys, I'm going to show you how to access the ODPM website, which is a crucial website for those of you who are seeking shelter and you're not quite sure where you can find shelter close by. Before we go into other bits and bobs about this right here. So if you just bear with me a second, let me just put this up. So this is the Office of Disaster Preparedness in Jamaica. It has various bulletins. So if you go to the homepage, you'll see that it has got a menu across the top. And this menu includes weather alert tropical storm Melissa. So when you click on this tropical storm alert and you click on that button, it takes you through to this page that has various bulletins. The latest bulletin is bulletin number 40. If you click download on that, it automatically comes up on your screen. And it tells you the latest release, the latest news about the storm. So it automatically plays. You can pause it and you can read that. So the latest one says that Hurricane Melissa continues west, but still expected to turn. Hurricane warning still in effect for Jamaica. At 7 p.m., the center of Hurricane Melissa was located near a latitude of 16.4 degrees north, longitude 77.3 degrees west. This means nothing to the layman. I don't know why they do that. They should name the places and not the measurements. But anyway, so it was southwest of Kingston, and a certain amount of miles south of Rocky Point in Clarendon, Jamaica. It's moving towards the west, near 7 kilometers per hour, 5 miles per hour. So it's slow. It's very, very slow indeed. It's a slow moving thing. Your screen is black? Oh, you can't see it? Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Somebody's saying my screen is black. Hang on. Just give me 1 second. You can't see? Why is it doing that? Hold on 1 second. I'm going to change the properties. All right. What about now? Can you see it now? Can you see it now, guys? Is that better? Faith says it's fine on her side. Okay. What about now? You should be seeing the document from the ODPM. Yeah, you're seeing it. You're seeing it. Okay. Right. Okay, brilliant. All right. Okay. Start play. All right. Okay. So let me come out of this then and do that again because then I'm gonna know what me I talk about. So like I said, the website is odpem.org. Yeah, if you just put that in your search bar and hit Google search, it will come up with a website. When you get to the home page, yeah, it looks like this. That's the website itself. And you can access different things from different points. Like it says, learn more about Tropical Storm Melissa. You could click here and it would take you through to the same page that's under here, which is Relief and Recovery, Weather Alert, Tropical Storm Melissa. So down here, it gives you various bulletins. Bulletins are alerts, important things that they need the citizens of Jamaica to know as the latest update from the Office of Disaster Preparedness. The latest one is Bulletin 40, and you should press pause on this because it plays all of the bulletins, okay? Otherwise, it would just keep skipping through all of them. So the latest one is here, Bulletin number 40. It's telling you about how fast it's going, when it's expected to get near to the country, and all of that. It's saying that it's moving at a speed of about 5 miles per hour, and it's expected to move closer to Jamaica and over inland on Tuesday. Now, he's saying that by 2 a.m. on Tuesday, they're going to start feeling the devastating effects. By 12 p.m. is what the live map showed us. So I don't know if theirs is more recent than the live satellite map. The live satellite map said 12 lunchtime, but he's saying 2 a.m. So let's work with what the government says, right? Maximum sustained winds, it's increased to 145. The live map showed us that the winds got up to 165 before it then hit the island at 160. So that's the prediction of how much it's going to be. And then it's talking about the fact that the winds extend for 30 miles from the center. So that's the span of the entire storm, okay, and how much it can cover in terms of space. It's calling it a life-threatening storm. It says as the storm moves closer, tropical storm force winds are expected to spread from southeastern sections of Jamaica to the northwest. So it's entering from the southeast. Somebody asked if it was entering from the west. It's entering from the southeast of Jamaica to the northwest. So St. Elizabeth is southeast, and it's exiting to the west. It's exiting northwest, and it's St. Anne that it's exiting the island. Okay, life-threatening storm surge accompanied by large and destructive waves is likely along the south coast of Jamaica late Monday through Tuesday morning and could reach 9 to 13 feet above ground level. So them the people in a Port Royal, we'll talk about them gonna stay in them boats because them expects that them can stay in them boat and rise with the waves. Y'all are crazy. Somebody needs to tell them that they're crazy. Okay? Small craft operators, including fishers on the quays and banks, are strongly advised to remain in safe harbor until all warning messages have been lifted and wind and sea conditions have returned to normal. Are they going to listen though? Are they going to listen? Right? So they're warning you about dangerously high water, or a combination of high water and exceptionally high waves. And the wind speed is also going to be very high. So those are the bulletins. And as things progress, as things change. So if you hear a rumor on social media that says, hurricane now come, like our, 7, I say, please come and check on this website. If it's not here, nothing don't go so. Just saying. right? So these are all your bulletins. When you scroll down on this website, just keep scrolling down, you're going to come to this button here. Can you see this button? Every time I go on the mouse, the button does something. This button here, it says view hurricane shelters in your region. You're going to click it. Okay? And in here, it's going to give you all of the hurricane shelters in map formats, right? Now, you can either go over the map and click the little red pins, or, so let me just zoom this in a bit. Right, so you can zoom the map in, you can zoom the map out. It's very interactive. You can find your area physically. So say you lived in, I don't know, Constant Spring. I'm going close to my area because I'm from Barbican. So I'm going to go Barbican. So if you click here, so it tell you where you can go. So this one says New Day Primary and Junior High, Barbican, 1 East Dulwich Avenue, Kingston 8, blah, blah, blah. It's currently a closed shelter. Why is it closed? Should be open. But anyway, we know now that that's the local shelter. So if anything goes wrong, you need to head to New Day Primary and Junior High, right? So everywhere where you live, there will be one within a vicinity. So you can either choose to find it physically via the map, or you can go down the all shelters thing and you can search for your parish, and then you can search within that area and find where your emergency shelter is. So if you live in a St. Thomas, right, and then you click submit, you select St. Thomas and you click submit, should work, fingers crossed. See what happens, right? Well, anyway, let me scroll down. Right, so St. Thomas, it goes here. Anyway, it no work on the map. Can me do that and it zoom in and it no show me nothing. So me no like that. It too fiddly. It too fiddly and ridiculous. It's meant to work, but it's not very good. Anyway, so if you want to go and do the manuals, down here you have the parish shelter listing, right? Kingston and St. Andrew, there's a list. You can click the download button and it should download, yep, straight to your computer. So see, mine has downloaded Kingston and St. Andrews list. It's a printable document. So you should be able to download that on your phone and open it up, depending on wherever you're from. So these are all of the lists of the shelters here. There's a list for Hanover, Clarendon, Manchester, St. James, St. Anne, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Trelawney, Portland, St. Mary, St. Thomas, Portmore, St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew. And then there is the National Emergency Shelter listing for 2025-2026. All of this is on the ODPEM site. So nobody should be stuck about where is their closest shelter. Where can they go to? In case of an emergency, you could have in your room and you lay down there and your roof just lift off. I would suggest you print off your relevant list or you download it onto your phone, put it on a tablet, screenshot it, set in the gallery. So even if you do not have internet, you can still access it. Download it and keep it on your phone, okay? And if you can manage to print it off physically, even better. Even better to have it physically, right? So that is how you operate the number 44, 10 a.m. bulletin. Brenda Sanders and number 44, 10 a.m. bulletin. I'm going to go up. Coming in soon. Hold on. Let me double check. No, it says number 40 is, well, they haven't uploaded the stuff. They haven't uploaded it. So poor them. Them probably under pressure. We can't really cuss them for that. They probably just need to update their site, right? Okay. So anyway, there is a list of emergency numbers as well that you can print off. They're all here. The Falmouth Hospital emergency number is here. poor relief, all sorts of things. These are important things that every citizen should have during a disaster. You can just hit that download button with the emergency contacts, and you can keep that. Anything that is on here is extremely useful. Municipal corporation contacts, I don't think you necessarily need that right now. And it has other useful things like, checklists for you so that you're fully prepared. You know, have to download at this stage because by now you should have do it. But go through everything and make sure that you check now. Have I done this? Do I have my non-perishable food and water for at least 3 days? Do I have my first aid supplies, my medication, my flashlights, my batteries, right? A battery powered radio, that is very important, right? Do I have those things? Is there a safe room in the house? So if you've decided that you are not leaving, or you have been told you don't need to evacuate, if anything was to go wrong with your property, have you identified a space where you can go into knowing that you're going to be very secure here? It could be that you have an out room, a washroom, and the washroom is mostly concrete and has a slab roof, and so with a grill and whatever, and is a bit elevated from the ground. Whereas the rest of the main house, it may have zinc roof. And if you stay in the main house, the zinc roof start to lift off, you can run and go and sit in this washroom area. Think carefully and sensibly about where you can evacuate yourself to. Right? And also, listen, I am conscious that there are people who are at home who are carers, who have got other elderly relatives, people who are, physically not very mobile. You have to be thinking about what you're going to do with them. Can you handle them? Can you lift them? If anything was to go wrong and you need to shift and go somewhere else, can you lift them? And if you can't, you have to figure out a way. It's either that you make sure that the wheelchair is operable, or you have got a friend who can stay with you, who can help you to handle, or a family member who can help you to handle somebody who is physically immobile. Right? And think about where you can evacuate to in your premises if anything was to go wrong. If not, check a neighbor. What if the neighbor wants to come over by you? Have you worked with your neighbors to create an emergency plan? Because these are the kind of things you need to be doing, those of you who are not evacuating or who have decided you're going to rebel. At least using the survival instinct and skills, and make a cohesive plan with somebody next door. I say, listen, if anything happen and I need to run and leave my property, can I come to you? And vice versa. You understand? Think about those things. Oh, it's on the PM page. Okay, yes, it's plenty going on, Brenda. I mean, I think then can manage to update website and all these things, right? So you develop your emergency plan and then you stay informed. Pay attention to the weather forecast, the updates from trusted sources. So I am sorry. Yes, okay. Lots of us love LA Lewis, but no, LA Lewis is not a trusted source. Not when it comes to know weather. It's not about the ancestors, and it's not about no kind of guzzling and no kind of gathering can stop this Melissa from come. So wanna stop getting yourself twisted and fooled, and make sure to pay attention to the actual formal channels, like the news channels, the ODPEM websites. Yes, nowhere else. Notice HDK talking, but HDK talking and HDK pointing to the source, and she's taking the source and she's bringing it to the people. Me not telling us me I talk to no gods and no goddesses out of no bush. I'm talking to you from credible sources. Take it from there. Right? So you check the Met Service and the ODPEM for updates. And obviously, in this case, as ODPEM, for them never managed to update their last bulletin, go on the Prime Minister page by Facebook or so. Right? Protect your home. Secure your windows. Secure your doors. Put plywood across. Nail them in as much as possible. Sandbags on your roofs. Sandbags by your entrances. Look under your door. Is there a gap? Stuff it up with towel. Put sandbag on the outside. Stuff it up with towel. Anything that's absorbent that will stop the water from coming in. Put these things around weak points of entry in your home. Reinforce doors. Lock the grills. You understand? If you know, say you have a door that is particularly loose and the wind can just blow it off, you need to be putting crossbars across there. Right? Your outdoor furniture, bring it in. Something that I suggest you do, especially if you are a planter, somebody who, you like having your little fruit trees and so in the yard. If you can manage to hold on to some saplings and secure them in a bathroom in the bath, do that. In some little pots, stick them in the bath. You know that you can replant at the end of the day. You understand? You can replant them because a lot of the trees, a lot of the vegetation, a lot of the fruit trees, and all of that, they're going to be destroyed. A lot of them. And you are going to have to replant a lot of those trees. So, in case these things get damaged and you can manage to secure some saplings now, or some replantable, repottable parts of the plant, so that you can then start again after this, then do so. In the meantime, they're talking about trimming trees and shrubs to minimize damage. Be aware of live wires. We've already lost one person to them trimming a tree, that the person died and they were trimming a tree. At first, when it came out, they said they weren't sure about his condition, but it's now come out that he has died. Correct me if I'm wrong, chap, because I swear I saw it on TamFam page, the picture of the guy, and I don't want to tell no lie. Hold on there. So you have to be aware of the let me see if I can find this picture. You have to be aware of the live wires. This chap here. Is this chap here the person? Hold on, let me show you guys the picture. This chap here, so hold on. I'll take a look at this. Can you see? This chap here. Can y'all see him? This one. See him there? He was cutting down a tree. And the tree electrocuted him. Y'all know the story? He passed on. He passed on. So listen, we have to be careful. Watch out for the electric wires, because you can't just be chopping like that. You have to watch out for the electric wires, right? He passed, according to news sources. I know, that's so sad. That's so sad. He's just there preparing for this damn disaster and then end up meeting his maker so quickly, and he's so young as well. We have to be careful. We have to be very, 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 very careful while cutting on and trimming down trees. Right? And just look at the point of entry and exit of those wires, because sometimes they can be hidden in the foliage and you end up going in there to cut and then you end up not seeing it, and that is it. Right? So be very careful with that part of it. Wear your rubber footwear and your rubber gloves as well. It's confirmed that he died. Oh God, that's terrible. That's terrible. But yeah, so these are the kind of things. So in your emergency kit now, so I like how it breaks this down. Let me move my camera so y'all can see the screen. It breaks down your emergency kit, the things that you should have, right? It's saying that you should have water. 3 liters per person is recommended. It's got your non-perishable food, so all your tin foods, right? So you can have your tin foods. You can have your macaroni and cheese in the box, the box one, the Kraft. You can have rice, flour, these things. You can keep cornmeal, right? You can use them quite easily. They're non-perishable. They last a long time. You understand? Packed noodles, the packed noodles and all these things. Yes, because the kids, them don't want no flour for dropping at them belly bone. Them not like eat these things. So you buy your pot noodles, you buy your ramen. You understand? Although I don't think those things are healthy, but it's still better than nothing. They will eat it, right? Pasta, they will eat it, right? So your non-perishable food, your sardine, your mackerel, all them people ever turn up them nose off a sardine and mackerel are going to eat tin boom till on fed up. Bully beef, which I now know is so expensive, right? Salt fish. Your salted fish, that lasts a long time. Salt mackerel, not so much. Salt fish definitely does last a long time, right? You stock up on these things. Make sure you have your flashlight, your batteries, your radio, your first aid kit. First aid kits, good thing for having your first aid kit. Rubbing alcohol, alcohol wipes, bandage, Yeah, band-aid and bandage, these things. A little scissors, some we call it the pin them safety pins, those kind of things are useful, the little wound tape. That kind of stuff in there is good. And of course you have your mercury your mercury coma, whatever they call it, the red sitting and the purple thing. What they call the purple thing, guys? Gentian violets. Yeah. Me not forget it on my day a long time, but me not forget my Jamaican things them. The gentian violets. Put the gentian violets in there. Okay? For your little ones, people who are asthmatic, gonna make sure you have no asthma pump. These things are very, very important. Very, very important. If your kids have allergies, make sure they have their EpiPens, make sure they have their antihistamines. Do not forget these things. Now, when it comes to securing your premises from electrocution, because this thing can happen even if, like, water comes into your house unexpectedly. Plug out from the, you see, from the electricity gone, just plug out everything. Because you might think it gone, and it's still there in residual. Plug out everything. Okay, plug out everything that you can plug out. Some of you may not want to plug out your freezer. You want to keep your freezer go as long as it possibly can go. Elevate these things, these electrical things, on blocks. Elevate them so that if water come in, it doesn't just go straight into the electrics. Keep them off ground as much as you possibly can. For those of you who have to evacuate, do that for everything, including your furnitures. You're trying to keep your furnitures alive so that if water does come into your property, there is there's less of a likelihood that you'll lose everything. These are the only things that I can think of. Guys, can you guys think of anything else? Vicks, thank you. Painkillers, Panadol, paracetamol for people who suffer from migraines and things like that. Anything else? Great advice, HDK. I live through Ivan and Beryl Grenada. Multiply those conditions by 3 for Melissa. All people to do now is preserve their lives. That is it. Once we have life, we can rebuild. That is it, exactly. You understand? Can we think of anything else, guys? Somebody say Melissa have man problem. She out there and put on makeup, eyelash, and her best outfit before she reach. Melissa take her time, my love. Melissa not in a no worry. Melissa just a slowly stroll and walk and collect up all of her powers. So that when she come with pure vengeance. You understand? It's not gonna be nice at all. So this website is extremely useful. It gives you so much, and it's definitely well worth visiting if you are stuck. And once again, like I said, the hurricane shelters in your area is on this page as well. You just have to click that and it will take you through to the map and to the list of all of the different shelters that are available. You can search for it by parish, and you can easily download them physically, keep them on your phone. These are all very important things. Very, very important things, right? Okay, so let me just see if anything else crucial is being mentioned on this live with the Prime Minister.
Complete displacement and loss of life. Hurricane winds will most certainly damage roofs. Assessments of the current situation, while we pray for the best, hour by hour, it is becoming apparent that the impact of Hurricane Melissa could be greater than Hurricane Beryl, certainly in terms of rainfall and flooding. We can lessen damage and speed up recovery by taking preparatory and precautionary measures before the impact of the hurricane. It is expected that Hurricane Melissa will make landfall on Tuesday. I take this opportunity to reinforce the appeal to residents of low-lying areas, historically flood-prone areas, gully banks, riverbanks, hillsides, and other vulnerable areas to take precautions to protect your property where possible, prepare your evacuation plan, and comply with the evacuation orders given. Avoid unnecessary risks such as playing in floodwaters and waterways, climbing trees and roofs during the hurricane, shelter in place, stay inside during the hurricane. We have issued an order under the Disaster Risk Management Act declaring the entire island of Jamaica a threatened area. This provides us with the legal framework to take all necessary measures to safeguard lives and property during the hurricane. All our national agencies, ODPEM, the JDF, the JCF, the NWA, and our first responders are on high alert. Shelters have been prepared, supplies pre-positioned, and emergency teams are standing by across the island. At the time of impact, the government will declare a disaster under the DRMA, along with the various other measures necessary from time to time to take us safely through the periods of disaster, relief, and recovery. Today, I signed a compulsory evacuation order for several communities along the South Coast, which will empower ODPEM to act as necessary to have persons evacuated from high-risk areas to save lives. We have also issued an order under the Trade Act to prevent price gouging. No one should seek to profit from the hardship of a disaster. The Ministry of
This part is very important, guys. You need to be listening to what he's saying. That he's putting in things in place for price gouging. So you see them China there will love capitalize on these kind of things and push up price and all them shopkeepers who are greedy. The Prime Minister is saying hell to the no, it's not gonna happen.
Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining will be issuing a recommended price list for all market produce. We have intensified our drain cleaning and mitigation programs across the island, targeting critical areas that are most vulnerable to flooding. Over 400 million Jamaican dollars has so far been allocated for drain cleaning and waterway cleanup, including at least $3 million to each constituency to carry out emergency drain cleaning and local preparedness. In addition to preparing the country for the
Should have been doing that throughout the year.
we are also taking steps to position ourselves for the recovery.
Yes, Debbie, because they have some
Forces will
teeth in
ensure
people,
there
you
is
know.
no break in public order during and after the hurricane. We will take all steps under the law to protect life and property from looting and other antisocial behavior. We urge all citizens to maintain the peace, observe the laws and various orders that may be issued, and act wisely in limiting movement and gatherings to what is necessary. Your government has built out a comprehensive multi-layered disaster risk financing framework to ensure that we can respond quickly and effectively. We have the National Natural Disaster Risk Fund and the Contingency Fund, which we will use to start the relief and recovery process. Beyond these, there are additional layers of insurance protection that are triggered once specific impact thresholds are met, along with contingent credit facilities. The NWA, JDF, NSWMA, local governments, and our utilities are all prepared to reopen roads, restore access, and reinstate service to ensure a quick recovery. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security, supported by the JDF, is fully prepared to lead the humanitarian relief effort and the data gathering for damage assessment. Please play your part in having your identification and other documentation ready if you have to apply or register.
When I said that's so important.
The
Whole
Ministry
in the
of Agriculture
documents.
is ready to offer support to our farmers and fishers to ensure that they are back out in the field as soon as possible. The Ministry of Health is making plans for major mosquito and other vector control initiatives immediately after the hurricane to avoid outbreaks of diseases, especially dengue. I want to take this moment to recognize our frontline workers, our healthcare professionals, police officers, soldiers, firefighters, utility crews, and all essential personnel who will be out there risking their lives to protect ours and to serve us. With proper preparation, discipline, and care for one another, we will come through this safely, as we have done so many times before. And let us remember, it is in times like these that Jamaica's true character shines through.
I tell you something, there's only one thing I care about, and is that we not have no deaths. No, at least no more, because we've already started to have deaths. I'm saying that the fatalities are low. That alone is all I want to hear. Even if roof blow off but people still alive, it's still better that the people are alive. That's what I am worried about more than anything else. I don't want any careless and reckless loss of life more than anything else.
Reach out to your neighbor, check on the elderly, check on persons with disabilities, and anyone who may need help. that is who we are, a people who live by the principle, each one help one. While we must prepare for the worst, let us also pray for the best. In every adversity, we have found strength, not only in our resilience, but in the power of prayer. So wherever you are, I encourage you to gather your family and pray for protection, for calm, and for each other, trusting that God, who has seen Jamaica through every storm, will carry us safely through this one too. My Jamaican family, we will weather this storm, and when the sky is clear, we will come together to restore and build stronger, prouder, and more resilient than before. Keep safe, everyone. May God bless
So the
you,
man cut off the Prime
protect your
Minister.
families, and keep safe our beloved Jamaica land we love.
Right, let's jump to the end because we got
Prime
some
Minister
questions
Doctor
and stuff going
Andrew
on right
Holness
here.
speaking.
Have been replaced, particularly
Let's listen to this.
of any event. If there is a significant flow of water, the drain is already at sea level. Generally satisfied that
Let's take
all
a
the
look.
entities, the entity heads and staff have responded. Right now, we're here at the ODPEM's headquarters, where the national emergency apparatus has been stood up.
Yes,
This is
Ziploc bags,
where
Delia.
all
Excellent
information will be
suggestion.
fed and coordination will take place. So if I were to grade the preparation of the country, I'm a hard marker, so I would give it an A minus. However, there are still some areas of concern which we have to be frank about. We have over 880 shelters, 881 I believe, and I have personally visited shelters during disasters. It is not always a satisfying experience, but they do serve a critical purpose, particularly for those persons who have no alternative. I do believe greater effort would have to be made to ensure the comfort of those persons who have to use the shelters. And I am monitoring reports that persons have turned up to shelters and shelters are not, they may be activated, but for example, they can't find the person who should open the shelter with the key. They're there, they know it should happen, but they're just not on spot when people come. It may be corrected 20 minutes after, 30 minutes after, but the discomfort of not being immediately accessible would have already made it into the public domain. And so, Minister, I think we have to strengthen this part of our preparedness of getting the shelter managers.
No, making shelter managers.
Wait until someone is coming. Once we activate the shelter, it should be open and ready.
Should be open. That's why I was saying that some of them are closed.
And so that is something we need to refine. I think we have addressed the issue of food and other preparations being in place. We have moved them in proximity. We don't always put them in the shelter beforehand because all kinds of things can happen. And when people actually arrive at the shelter,
no problem, Antoinette.
So the supplies are pre-positioned and can move very quickly. This leads me then to say to the public, the government is not telling you that everything is perfect. There's no plan that is perfect except the plan of God. And man is fallible, so errors will be made. But that is not an excuse. In a time of disaster, we must take a zero-fail approach to the systems that we are building. So in as much as I'm talking to the public, I'm also talking to the heads of the institutions that are gathered here. Make greater effort to ensure that there is zero fail in our operations. We also note concerns about drain cleaning. The government has said we have spent over $400 million on cleaning drains and making preparations. But yet we see videos circulating of drains not clean. One of particular concern would be the mouth of the
Sandy Gully.
Sandy Park,
Sandy
the
Gully.
Sandy
Sandy
Gully,
Gully in a
forgive me,
state.
the Sandy Gully
Which
drain,
Sandy Park? The Prime
where there
Minister.
is a clear buildup
Park.
of sediment right at the mouth. That is where the drain meets the sea. And there is concern that that could cause flooding. Now, of course, I am not an engineer, but from what I've been told and what I understand, the NWA has made a trench, in fact, two, I believe, through that mound of sediment that has built up, which would allow the flow of water. But in any event, if there is a significant flow of water, the drain is already at sea level, and it is likely that what will occur is that the flow of water will wash the sediments and all the garbage down into the sea. So while it is a concern, it could cause flooding, the general thought is that it would not necessarily, in this instance, be a cause of flooding.
So you sound like you're
because the
hoping right
pressure of
there.
the water coming down would be
No,
enough
man,
to
hold on, hold on, hold
move
on, hold fire.
most of that.
Hold fire. What I hear in here at all? Let me put on my guy and his accent. What he asks? Hold on 1 minute. What? What? Did he? All right. You know what I'm hearing here, people? The Prime Minister is predicting that the garbage in Sandy Gully, the sediments, the build up that's in Sandy Gully, it is hoped that because now it is at sea level and not above, because they've been digging it, There's lots of clips. If you go up on TikTok right now, you can see lots of clips of them dig up the Sandy Gully. He's saying that now, before, the garbage and stuff that was in there and all the build up, it was above sea level. Now they've brought it down to sea level because they've been working mercilessly, and now the workers are saying them can't stay because they have to go prepare for their own families and their own house, right? So now it's down to sea level. So this is the gully, people, and this is the sea. It must say the garbage there, so if the water rise, it is hoped that there will not be any blockage. So he's hoping that the water is not gonna push what's underneath and push it backwards to the point where it all becomes sludge and it all blocks up the gully. It's gonna wash it out to sea. What? Then that sounds logical to una think now. The water isn't just gonna be flowing from in the island this way, Remember, we have got surges from the coast. So water is going to come up from the sea and go so into the land. Water is going to be coming from all the mountains and all the valleys and everything down like that, down the gully. So this water is going to hit this water. That water is going to be a stronger current than the water coming from the land. So you're going to end up with a strong undercurrent underneath here, so like this. He is hoping that this is going to push it out. It might not. This is wishful thinking. You are predicting something that's a bit very risky. This risky, bad. No, sir. No, man, this not. What?
Of that sediment. But regardless of whether or not that is the case, the NWA has made the provision of cutting a trench through the sediment. The difficulty being that it is over a mile of sediment, and therefore the government, we would not have been able to, even with a month's notice, to move that sediment from the gully. So the best effort would have been to clear a path through the sediment.
Pure slackness.
Also, we have taken a strategic approach.
The gully should have been being clean.
That in terms of cleaning the drains, they are not able to clean the length of all the drains. What they try to do is to clear the entrances for the tributaries into the drains and anywhere that a potential blockage could occur. So close to bridges where the gully is narrow. And I use this as a segue. Yesterday, I received a call from the NSWMA explaining to me, I thought I saw Audley Gordon here, that they're receiving increased calls for garbage collection. And of course, they were trying to influence my mind to make greater allocations to the NSWMA over the NWA. But we will make sure that all the entities have the appropriate
Christina,
allocations.
it
But
don't make not
in that
sense, not one
conversation,
sense.
I
It don't
was
make
told
common nor
that the
capital
greatest call
sense. It don't
now
make.
was for the removal of cuttings and trees. It's very important, though late, and the NSWMA will do as best as they can with the
Good
equipment that they
question,
have
Brenda.
to move the cuttings, because it is the cuttings that creates the greatest harm to the blockage of the gully. So I know that citizens are following what we have said, cut trees that are a danger, but then don't move the trees and the cuttings to a point where the water could take them and then they end up being lodged, turning sideways and creating a block in the gully pathways or drain pathways. If you can't get them carted away and they have to be on your property, secure them so that they, if there is flooding or water passing through, they are not moved into the drains, because that is where the real flooding impact will be caused. So I make that appeal. So the
That's quite
NSWMA
important.
will be moving as quickly as possible. I doubt they can be moving now and for the next 24 hours until after the hurricane. So I'm appealing to all citizens, if you have cuttings, secure them. Don't allow them to be washed away onto the roads. They will end up obviously in drains.
Into the
and
drains.
that goes for any garbage that you may have at this point in time, because that is what could really cause drains and gullies to be blocked and to overflow. I am sufficiently satisfied that the security forces are properly deployed in such a way as to prevent any break in law and order. Whenever there is any kind of disaster, you know, there will always be that element in our society who...
Hey, people. You remember Gilbert? Yo, you remember seeing Gilbert and the people that walk with the TV pan my shoulder? Me see what me I see one man I walk with one, I run with one satellite dish. Pan his shoulder, pan his back, so. You remember how courts, them broke in a courts. How the people have loot courts. You remember? What is going to happen now? Because listen, everybody want a phone, you know, and everybody want a big screen TV. A big problem. Remember me tell you.
is not a part of the common good and has no concern for their neighbor. And we have to protect ourselves against them and protect them as well. And the security forces,
Exactly, Christina, from Jesus with a little boy.
Mobilized,
The bully them should
and they
answer.
understand how we should posture in this disaster. The rights of citizens must be respected at all times, even in a disaster. And so we have a legislative framework that will not just guide the emergency responses of the NSWMA and NWA and ODPEM and so forth, but it also guides how the security forces will respond. We urge persons to stay within the precincts of your home, the curtilage of your property. Don't venture outside unnecessarily. Because the winds, as you can see, can pick up at any time. The rains can come at any time. You can be caught in a flash. So
no disrespect. No disrespect. This sound like a strong an approach to no. It sound like, listen, no, uno tell me if me I hear right. Because me supposed to hear the Prime Minister say, if you ever come and break into any property, we're going to be activating all the cameras around the vicinity, and that will still be going even when the electricity now when the yard shut down. I mean, that's a good example. That not gonna work. But we're gonna have soldiers are going to be stationed at key positions, key points in secured, barricaded premises, keeping an eye and something, and we'll be patrolling during the eye of the storm. Me need to hear something. What you talk about? I wonder if the Prime Minister really understand bad man mentality and thief and criminal and cook. He might go like him don't know, and he well and know. Them people are not gonna listen. The moment them see an opportunity for broke house or broke a property or broke a business and walk with your things, them are gonna do it. I'm hearing nothing that's going to prevent them from doing other than you trying to appeal to their good nature. Like, say some people dead inside. No, sir.
That's
Ready
the
to Prime
safest
Minister, man.
place to be at the moment. And that gives less work to the security forces. Looting and other kinds of antisocial behavior, which I would include having parties in the rain, playing football in the rain, running in the gullies. I urge all our citizens, and I make a special appeal to our young people. Some have never really experienced the true impact of a hurricane. I urge you to stay inside.
That's it.
And I ask our heads of households and elders to engage with our young people so that they understand. More and more, we are becoming sensitive to the issue of persons' mental health. Situations of uncertainty lead to panic, and it can lead people to deviant behavior. That sometimes
Prime Minister sound like a gentle parent.
look hard and say, this is stupid behavior, but really it is just
You're naughty.
part of
You're in the naughty
the
corner.
psychology of fear and anxiety that we need to have a better appreciation for, and we really need to talk to our young people so they understand and they don't make light of it.
I mean for laughing, but this is the part for laugh for not what's going to happen, but this part, this part, and him appear. No, I appear joke this. The Prime Minister talking like he's dealing with some little, well-behaved, well-mannered children that occasionally step out of line. And then, just talk to them and elders, just make sure that they know that, they must do the right thing. You need to be telling them that anybody will step out of line, there's going to be severe consequences, and you need to break down what the severe consequences is going to be. Tell them that homes will be at risk. If we know, say you're on an NHD home and you find out, say you're broke house, we'll take you back. You need to put something in a place. You can't just tell the people and be good or else naughty corner. What kind of madness is this?
Make more than it is. Now,
you see it's FB.
Fairly satisfied, Minister Vaz, that Beryl would have improved our level of preparedness for the
that is true.
continuity of service in the event of a disaster. So between GPS and our telecoms,
I'm going to skip you, Prime Minister, because I think
have done to pray for our nation.
I'm going to skip it.
Bull Bay, St. Andrew, New Haven, St. Andrew, and Riverton City, St. Andrew. Those were the areas under the evacuation order, Minister.
All right, let me skip forward because I want to hear this part, right? I just want to hear this part.
Petition as much as
the
we
sound,
can.
Yes, and I realize that the sound and the video no sync up.
As prayer warriors, as many have done, to pray for our nation.
Make it harder for them to strike
In
me.
Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
That's not quite light up. Anyway, all right, hold on.
Thank you very much, PM, for those words. I am going
the
to pass it on to the media
systems
while
in Jamaica are being
contemplate
silly.
our prayers to God at this time for Jamaica. Is there anyone who wants to go first? All right, TVJ.
Oh, it's prayer time.
I have a lot of luggage in my lap. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My first question is for PM/ODPEM. There was a talk of the mandatory evacuation for the 7 communities in Clarendon, St. Catherine, and St. Catherine, as well as St. Andrew and the other, about 4 parishes and 7 communities. I wanted to find out, because PM had a banter with ODPEM head about the security forces possibly moving in with persons under the mandatory evacuation
order. The state of emergency should be called so that the government are within their rights to protect people and property. It's in place, yes, signed all emergency contingencies, especially security.
How many such persons complied following the evacuation order?
All right, thank you. And we just needed to remind our colleagues, all Jamaicans, of where the areas are: Port Royal, Kingston, Portland Cottage, Clarendon, Rocky Point, Clarendon, Old Harbor Bay, St. Catherine, Taylor Land, Bull Bay, St. Andrew, New Haven, St. Andrew, and Riverton City, St. Andrew. Those were the areas under the evacuation order. Minister?
Okay.
Just to say that when
Riverton City,
evacuation
bad
is being
enough.
undertaken,
That place.
the buses are accompanied by all elements of the security forces. So they go with the JD.
Then Riverton City is a problem. But what about Washington Gardens and those places? Because Washington Gardens literally they're right on the edge of Riverton City, you know. And Washington Gardens, the drainage around there is so bad. Just off the Washington Boulevard there, it's so bad. I don't know. I think those people are going to struggle.
If they go with the police, they go with fire, and they go with ARPEM officials. So that is the purpose of it. We are still talking with communities, but we have to allow communities to understand that, you know, it is not just the way that they want to. But I'm hoping that we will not really physically move anybody. We will continue to persuade Jamaicans. So, and I know they will eventually in the long run.
Okay. And
Just to be clear, as I said, that we are now in the zone of respecting the rights of the people, but providing them with information. But walk with me for a moment. You know, let's not bring this into the universe. But if there were a catastrophic event and persons were there in the path of the catastrophe, and we were still able to go, because it's a big if we were still able to go, then the country, the government, and myself, I couldn't sit by and see my citizens in danger, and I am able to go and save them, even if they don't want to be moved, and I don't do it.
Okay.
But I couldn't do it unless it is within the law, and that
I
is
see.
why we
I
make
see.
the evacuation orders, so that if that scenario were to materialize, within the law I am acting. And so the compulsory evacuation orders have been put to ensure that there is a legal framework for the government to act. And that's why we put in place, we make sure that under the Disaster Risk Management Act, we put in place the declaration of a threat to Jamaica, so that we are able to then do the necessary action.
It's actually really good. I mean, I'm not going to knock this part. This part's actually really good. So if he's done this and there's a compulsory evacuation order in place, and that he has declared that there's a national threat to security, to the safety of the country, then if the people do not comply, they can, within the rights of the law, use force. That's what he's saying, but he's not quite saying it. And I think that is excellent that he has put that in place, because Jamaican people are very stubborn. We're stubborn. We're not stubborn like we're stubborn. You understand? We're not like this. So, you know, we need a little bit more than just being told, oh, you need to leave. It needs to be a case of if people do not comply, you have got something else in place that you can do to stop people from disobeying, because there are people there who will put material things over their own life and safety.
And then, should the hurricane hit,
yes, it's true. Talk
we
with
would
me,
move
Sha. Them
from
still a
threat
go bad.
to actually declaring a disaster.
The man hide.
So at all times, there is no break in the legal framework under which the government is operating. My understanding is that buses and the police and the military were mobilized into communities. I've seen some of the videos with the police over their loudspeakers encouraging.
It's so weird that it's out of sync with whatever is on the screen. Let me jump and hope that it comes together.
Cancun, that had a major hit in the last hurricane in Mexico. And we've seen what it did to Puerto Rico and other islands. And those weren't Category 5s. So a Category 5 hurricane will definitely damage roofs. It will definitely compromise infrastructure, even concrete infrastructure.
Concrete.
It will scour roads.
Yep.
It will destroy agriculture.
Yes.
And vegetation.
No doubt. It will impact put on a little plant them.
There's no question about that.
Yes.
However, if you didn't take precautions to clear the drains, if you didn't take precautions to move people to safety, then the damage is compounded. And that is why we emphasize preparation, because the preparation lessens the damage and it makes the recovery that much easier. And we accept that there's going to be damage, and so you position yourself to deal with the impacts of the damage. So for example, we know after a hurricane, we're going to have mosquitoes, and we're going to have dengue if it's not prepared for. So Ministry of Health is putting in place measures to deal with that. I had a good talk with Minister Tufton 2 days ago. He briefed me on what he was doing. But the preparation started, during the COVID period when we...
Right, all right. Me get it right. Glad the Prime Minister can ramble sometime, man. Yes, okay, good. All right. So I am hearing some good things, and I'm hoping that the people of Jamaica are given the right amount of support and intervention that they need, and that, people comply. Please don't comply, because it's very, very stubborn people. Now, in the meantime, we still have the Jayden Smith case that has been left now up in the air. Okay. And as such, my worry is this. My worry is that because we now have Melissa, which is a complete distraction from the Jayden case, and reasonably so, because right now we can't focus on the two things. A lot of things are going to go wrong for the Jayden Smith case. We're going to have, obviously, loss of even more potential evidence. If something has gone wrong, if Jayden has indeed been unalived, then his body could get washed out to sea. His remains could get washed out to sea. There's a lot of bad things that can happen as a result of this. If he's been taken by somebody, they may consider now as the time that they can dash him, because he may have been kept alive but kept quiet and locked away somewhere because too many eyes and too much searches, and them no want a jankra hover over them head and all these kind of things. And now that there's going to be a storm, then hello, it's gonna be an opportunity for them to actually do the final do and dispose of his body without anybody actually noticing, because everybody's too tied up with Melissa, right? And with all the debris and everything that's around, it's easy also for people to burn things after Melissa, and nobody will consider it strange if it's a large amount of things getting burnt, because people are busy clearing up their land. So I'm showing you that the storm can mean some pretty tragic things for the firm resolution of what's happened to Jayden Smith. Because which child is going to be out there in the cold during a Category 5 hurricane and not want to go back into shelter is beyond me. I don't think Jayden Smith would do something like this. And if he is alive, because we're still trying to hold on to hope, if he is alive and he's going to get food or find somewhere to eat or whatever, he would hear things, and we hear people that talk about hurricane and storm, And I doubt very much that any of this is taking place. So guys, my genuine opinion is that, to me, this child is no longer on this earth. He isn't. And there was one video that I came across, and I don't trust it, people, because it's hearsay. I don't trust it because it's hearsay. And I don't know who this individual is who who came on the TikTok live and said what they said, right? I cannot vouch for this person. I cannot say that this is fact. But this is the latest thing that I've heard. I don't believe that Jayden's still alive. Yeah, I don't think he is. I think he's gone. I think he's gone. But anyway, I'm going to play the last thing that I heard, right? And I want you guys to tell me in the comments what you think about it, whether or not you think it's a valid um, piece of information, something that I should pursue to try to find out more about. But take a listen for yourself.
It's not answering the box and it's was there hanging around and listening to people and I said, let me just I'm gonna jump for joy in the meantime. She's in trouble.
As you said that, sir, do you get it from a credible source, sir? Please and thanks.
Matter, I do not want to go into too much detail based on my
No, man, you what? You don't have to cut down there, but you don't have to cut down it. But based on how you would tell me, you would like get it from a credible information. You could say,
I am a credible person.
Yeah, I heard what he said.
Information is credible.
Yes, sir.
She's in custody here.
Yes.
She had landed here today and she was escorted to a particular police station where she had they had questioned her briefly and she has been detained in police custody to undergo further intensive investigation, quite likely tomorrow or Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So
Thank you. Did she confess anything?
she has been cooperating.
Okay, because you will hear something.
I hear that she talk about where the little boy is in St. Anne's.
Her baby is in St. Anne. Her baby is in Bam.
Yeah, but yes,
I hear about Jayden. She said that Jayden burn with him bag and etc. and he's in St. Anne.
So we don't know. So we want to know if it's that.
I have not got that information.
Yeah.
I have not gotten that information.
Okay.
Well, I work in St. Anne area, and if so be, then that information will reach across the airwave. Anne-Marie Thompson, your time, your days are numbered on the face of this land. You are going to get a whole lot of spiritual beating for all the wicked things that you and your son, them are. And that.
Let's stop it there, so. So that person that came on the live, I don't know who he is. He's claiming he's a credible person. You can't just claim that, sir. You can't just come on the internet and make those kind of claims like that without some kind of concrete evidence to back it. You're not even saying, I am Corporal XYZ. I know that you probably can't say you're Corporal XYZ, but you can say that, you got your information from a police force and and let people call and start press them, even the press, for say, listen, is it true that you have this woman in custody? Is she currently in custody and currently being questioned? At this stage, people, I am not trusting anything until I hear it from a credible news source. It needs to be confirmed by the Jamaica Gleaner, Jamaica Observer, Jamaica Star, the radio stations, something that is a credible pathway to news and information for me to actually accept it, right? He exactly, we don't know him. For him to just come out and say, oh, she's in custody, she's being questioned. To me, you could easily be some kind of scapegoat individual that's been planted on the internet by Shanique herself to come out to make it look like, so that people can stop the pressure and stop calling her name. You say one go ring back and say, oh, they question her and she's innocent. Why wouldn't the press? Because based on what he's saying, she was in the island for a few days now. And if this is the case, why wouldn't the press jump on this to say, member of Jayden Smith's family detained for questioning? They may not even have to call her name. That's big news. That's big news. To me, it would be ridiculous to not put that out to the public, especially considering how people are so emotionally caught up about Jayden. It would give people some kind of feeling that something is going forward. Shanique is not that important to be able to put a gag order on the press. So I am not convinced about this. He's also saying that the child is still in St. Anne. Now, interestingly, what we did not find out is whether or not when Shanique left on the Wednesday, if she had actually left with her baby. That part was not very clear, and even in her subsequent interviews, she hadn't exactly stated that her child was being returned. How soon after a broken femur can a baby get on a plane? She mentioned that there was a lot of risks to the child traveling in the first stage of the break on the femur. She said that there would have been pressure that would have shattered the bone. I understand that. She says it doesn't matter how long the distance, the fact that she was going up into the sky with the baby would have shattered the bone. So if that's the case, she could not have traveled right away when she returned, or was Wednesday adequate? So what's the difference between the Friday and the Wednesday? That's not much longer. Saying that the baby was in a lot of pain. So if this is the case and the child had to remain, then it also lends to reason that Shanique has to return for her child if she had to leave the child and stayed in St. Anne with the baby. Because apparently, my loves, them have family in a St. Anne. I don't know if the man family, I think of the man mother. A cart them name, I want a cook. The cooks. The cooks are from St. Anne. The cooks are from St. Anne. The cousin said the child didn't travel. Okay. So it is likely that Shanique would want to come back down to check on her baby. Don't it? Lala says Melissa could also unearth hidden evidences concerning Jayden. Would be a wonderful thing if Jayden is still alive and Melissa helps to stir up his release from some hidden location. Yes, that is hopeful thinking at this moment, but we still have to keep that hope alive. Right? It begs the reason that she would want to return, don't it? And if she returned and she end up in Montego Bay, she would not have been able to travel yesterday. When did the airports close? She would not have been able to travel for yesterday or the day before, I think. So when would she have returned if she did come back to Montego Bay? And the Wayfair name a bounce all about the place, even the Montego Bay airport staff would have known so she there. And that would have leak. I think that broken femur was an old injury and it was aggravated. Remember the reason why the child was here in jail in the first place because she has no help in the US. Natalie, you know said that's the reason why Shanique give her, you know said that's another reason me think it is. Shanique have the little girl. She has had the little girl from ever since. The little girl was a baby when Shanique did pregnant. You understand? Still I run up and down and play, hop, skip and jump when she was pregnant with Zaire. That little girl would have been in primary school. She would have been in about year 1, year 2 when that baby born. So Jayden would have need not Jayden, Zaire would have need nursery. He would have need nursery care, which is a little bit different. But it's not impossible. She's also a trained nurse. You understand? The mother says she traveled to and from America often. So she not frightened for foreign picnic. Remember that? So why the mother couldn't go up and stay longer? I help look after the baby. You would have sent, you as a man there, would have sent down your 2-year-old. Because you are going to join army, 2 years old. It's just 1 year and this child is going to be in school, you know. Me try if you understand the setup. The reason why Zaire end up back in Jamaica. Who sends their American-born child back to Jamaica to stay because them busy at work and them can't look after them picnic? Who does that? That not normal. Oh, you know, sister, that not normal. Somebody would have seen her in the airport. Exactly. The fact that the PLP tight-lipped is so ridiculous because someone must see something. The parents of the husband brought the baby to Jamaica, not Shanice. They can take the baby back to Shanique. Parents of the husband brought the baby to Jamaica, not Shanique. So if the parents of the husband brought the baby to Jamaica, why the parents of the husband never keep the baby, the cooks never keep the baby in a sentan? I don't understand that. Why did the cooks take the baby back and then take the baby and then the baby end up with Shanique mother? Well, this has something right there, so. People do that because they start school late and daycare expensive. Okay, I see. I see. She can't afford the childcare and doesn't want to live in with strangers. Well, yes, of course, not living in with strangers is fine. But now Carlene throw something in at the works and Carlene tell me something else. Carlene said the parents of the husband brought the baby to Jamaica, not Shanique. They can take the baby back to Shanique. So the parents took the baby to Jamaica. But somehow the baby ended up staying with the mother. Is it that the baby was staying with the mother temporarily? Like visiting, going up there to visit the grandmother on that side, and normally the baby is in St. Anne with the cooks. And then now she ended up bringing the baby to the hospital in St. Anne, which is the cooks, and then the baby would have ended up back with the cooks in St. Anne, and therefore does not need to travel back. Zaire doesn't need to travel back to America, doesn't need to travel back with Jayden's people, because how I wouldn't feel comfortable knowing that a child just went missing in my mother house. If you send my baby back there. My baby never go back there. Okay, and boo. Alright, people are saying Shanique said it with her own words. Okay. So then it sounds to me like this is the case. Then the baby is in St. Anne, but the baby is in St. Anne with the cooks. The baby just went, and the baby just went to visit Jayden's family, that side. The cooks only had the baby permanently, and the baby was visiting temporarily when Jayden went missing. Then a big bangarang that Jayden go cause, man, as far as them concerned. And the cooks, you see the cooks them? The cooks them are some little hoity-toity middle class, so they call them red skin country people. I can take one look on them and see them things, so them is high society. One of those set of people. You understand? So imagine Zaire go and visit Anne Marie and her Busherman husband. I call him Busherman. Why? Because he coming like a Busherman. It just coming like say he just did a fit chop bush. Metaphorically. So imagine the baby go visit Mr. T and his wife. And then Jayden go cause them price chicken food for broke. And them have to go Explain to the cooks, explain to the daughter, explain to the man. How them would have angry at Jayden? You can imagine? And them do it so she would be comfortable with her child going back there. The current president of the Jamaica Teachers Association is Jasper Gabriel, who assumed office in 2020. He's the principal of Manchester High School. Yes, I know that. I did a whole piece on him. Maybe they share the responsibility. Them things are them all that are a bag of chips. Yes, they do. Where's the cooks are? Roomba viz. Yes, them very bougie, my love. But that whole setup, it sounds strange. There's some missing information there. There's some missing information there I need to look into. Where is the baby now? Who has the baby in their care? And why was the baby with Anne-Marie and Mr. T? Why was the baby with Anne-Marie and Mr. T at that given time? There's something there to look into. And yes, it's important that we do not forget the Jayden Smith case. And even if it's a matter of keeping up the pressure on this family until somebody cracks, somebody breaks and tells the truth, that needs to happen. And I can just know that it's going to be set back. But it doesn't mean that even though we go quiet on it for a little while and we're focusing on Melissa and the things that's happening with this hurricane, that we've forgotten Jayden. We're not going to forget Jayden. We're never, ever going to forget Jayden Smith and what's happened to him. That child does not deserve to just go missing without a trace, to go missing without a burial, to go missing without any story to his name. Una cannot do that to that little boy. You understand? And we're going to make sure that the internet does not forget it. And we're going to make sure that the government does not forget it. Because them have to give us an answer. Do you believe the baby's thigh was broken? Not necessarily by Jayden. Jayden probably see how did baby thigh break. Jayden probably see how the baby thigh break. And it probably have something to do with somebody else in the household. And we don't want Jayden talk. So then dash him. There's a lot of thoughts I have in my head about that. You understand? Their behaviors subsequently, big up yourself vibes. Their behavior subsequently is telling me that they're up to no good. The fact that they're gone into themselves, they're not coming out to search, they're still not making noise about finding Jayden despite whatever persecution. Listen, I would have fight back. If somebody, oh, we're not confrontational. You're not confrontational, Shanique, but yet you are all up underneath the other cousins. We call it the rebel writer. You are all up underneath her posts on Instagram, cussing her out. And you're not confrontational, you liar. You are confrontational. You are confrontational because you were all up underneath that girl's post, even calling Jayden it. Yes, people, on our messages, our text messages that she sent to the girl. The other cousin on the mother's side. That Jayden is at it. Nobody cared for it. That's how she referred to Jayden. So you are not confrontational. You are confrontational. You're pretentious with it. You understand? All of them stories too good to be true and too coincidental. Added that to that principle. Even yep. Remember that aunt said 2 weeks before she booked him up, walk elsewhere. With our rude self, exactly. I call the picnic it. You are very confrontational. You're talking about you're not confrontational. That's why I don't want to come out on the internet. And they don't want to come out on the internet because every time I open a mouth, I want to bury on yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. Every time I want to open a mouth about Jayden, on the truth reveal itself. Because the boy's spirit nah rest. Why on the thing say? The destruction where I come at Jamaica come true St. Elizabeth, right, and Clark, Mandeville, and Manchester next. And exit over to St. Ann. You think same spirit now come for you? That are the spiritual side what me we accept. Because it's just so ironic, so coincidental that the point of entry is right by you and the point of exit is right by the cooks. Oh no, see the irony and the drama there so. The Lord is very angry with that family. Very angry with you. And if you spill that child's blood is coming in a category 5 storm to take on you out. It's not going to end well for you if you don't confess. It's not going to end well. It's possible, Natalie. Anything in Jamaica can happen for some money. The child autistic, very frisky, love to jump in and down so the picnic can fall or the mother can slap him. It's not impossible. I just think they drugged him and buried him somewhere. I don't think them go so far. Them not so sophisticated but no drugs. Them not so sophisticated. Then clot him and he knock out and drop and lick head or sitting bad happen. I don't think they intended to do it. The man a set of people who would have set out to go kill somebody. But I think however it happened, it went down that way. The baby constantly crying on Thursday, September. And it's alleged that Amory hit the baby hard and as a result the baby sustained a broken or fractured hip. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. This is what I'm saying, that Jayden was aware of how it happened and that they might pin it upon him. So if Jayden ran away, that would have been the reason. But nothing more than they went out and searched and found him and never thought about that. That Jayden was actually found. So let me tell you something. As much as you don't hear me literally breaking down every single character that's involved in this case, I want you to realize that we have to do this investigatory probing. But there's always a flip side of every story that's presented. Remember, what if the principal's not lying? Just what if? What if there were all these witness accounts and none of those witnesses were lying? Have you thought about what that then means? It means that there was a period of time within which Jayden was a runaway. And that in that period of time, Jayden could have been rescued. And that in that period of time, they would have followed certain leads. And quite possibly, Jayden was found. And then Jayden get dashed. Because everybody's already assuming him missing. So why present him now to further rock the boat and say the reason why he escaped in the first place? Either way, take it, all fingers point to the family. All fingers point to the family. They are the prime suspect. And even if they did not physically, they hired somebody too. Allegedly. But as you rightfully say, God not sleep. That's right. I believe God is all over the store and he will send help and justice for Jayden. Notice Melissa come and notice pure happenings in Manchester lately. Correct. Correct. They need to search St. Anne too. Everyone is a suspect. Correct. Anyway, people, big up on a nice clean sub. Thank you so much for joining my live. Okay, please drop the proper hearts for Jayden, but also drop black, yellow, or green hearts for Jamaica. Okay. We need to celebrate. We need to celebrate the fact that I have now hit 17K. Big up on yourself for that. Thank you so much. So a bit of good thing that has come out of this. I do appreciate all the support, all of the subscribers, all of the people who watch, the people who share, the people who like. I do appreciate all of that. I am grateful. But more than anything else, I want people who are authentic to my channel, right? Who are here, who are looking for factual information, open conversation and debate. I want to thank you all for that, because it's just one day I was celebrating 16K. Now I'm at 17. So big up on yourself for that. But let's just put up purple hearts, black hearts, yellow hearts, green hearts for Jamaica, for Jayden, all of it. J for yet another J. J for Jayden. Okay. And we want to make sure that even though Melissa is coming to torment us, we're not gonna forget that little boy. We know things so we done and we just are come. We just will wait this through and ride out the storm with our people. Keep an eye on this. But we're coming right back for Uno. We'll take Jayden Smith away. Right back for Uno. Alright? Blessings, my lovelies. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Today is what day? A Monday. I probably will drop a video tomorrow. All right. Big up on the nice skin self. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out. Bye.